What's going on, guys? H-Dub here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, just showcasing my Spider 25 comp because I got a comment asking about the gear from someone who said they were having some trouble getting a comp to 100% or at least close to 100%. So I want to showcase my comp, show the gear, break down the gear and the champions, just so you guys can have a better understanding of what's going on. We'll do some runs. We'll do at least 10 runs to make sure that the comp is solid. We might need to do something closer to 1,000 runs to really ensure that the comp is viable for overnight farming. But for the sake of the video, we're going to do 10 runs. Before we jump into the runs, let's go and look at the gear and the champions that we're using in this comp. And we're going to be using a Mordecai, 2 Cold Hearts, a Renegade, and a Crypt King. So we can take a look at the gear. First, we'll start with Renegade because she's probably the easiest to gear in the entire comp. She doesn't have to be level 60, doesn't even have to be level 50. You can make this work with a level 40 or even a level 30 Renegade. As long as she is fast enough to take one turn, you will be fine. I have mine in a shield set because I do use her from time to time in other dungeons, depending if I'm not using a Kymar. She has no speed on her, or we didn't really prioritize speed, so she's about 121 speed. I did have her closer to 145 speed for something else that I was running because I did want her to take a turn before the opponents took a turn. So when I use her in Fire Knight, she does need to be a bit faster for that. But for the sake of this, she can be about this slow. But she has around 48k HP, 121 speed. The rest of the stats don't really matter. You can use accuracy on her because she does have a decreased speed debuff. So if you do want to get some accuracy on her, that will also help you. Decreased speed is a very powerful debuff in this game and can be tremendous when trying to complete something. But I don't really rely on it. So I just stack resist just to build her champion power, which helps my player power a bit, which is also irrelevant. She doesn't have any masteries. I might have farmed this in Minnow at some point just for the advanced quest, but no, she doesn't need any master. She is booked, but not for the purpose of Spider. For the purpose of Spider, you only need her to take one turn. So I did make sure I booked the A3 for other places that I do use her. And well, before I got any Kymars, I do have 2 Kymars now, but before I got any Kymars, I was using Renegade quite a bit to reset cooldowns. We'll look at the Cold Hearts next. So we're running 2 Cold Hearts. I have a fast Cold Heart and one that is a bit slower. So the faster Cold Heart, they're not in Savage or anything like that. Just, as fast as you can get them with decent accuracy. You obviously want that 70% crit rate and as much crit damage as you can get. The fast Cold Heart is 249 speed. She has 70% crit and 227 crit damage with 353 accuracy. The HP doesn't matter much unless your Cold Hearts are slower and they're going to be getting targeted by Spiderlings, which is why Renegade also in the shield set helps in case we get 3%ed by the freeze or HP burn. If it doesn't land on Spiderlings, then they will take a turn and they probably will target the Cold Hearts. Attack does not matter here, and you don't really want any attack because if you kill the Spiderlings, that's less times that you can get HP burn ticks on the boss, and you don't want the Spiderlings to die in this comp. So the faster Cold Heart is at 249 speed. These are the masteries here. We went into War Master because it's going to give us the most bang for our buck in the higher level dungeons. Let me move my webcam. So these are the masteries here. War Master, of course, for higher level dungeons. If we look at the slower Cold Heart, she's at 246 speed, so coming in just behind that faster Cold Heart. 74% crit rate, 212 crit damage, and 292 on the accuracy. Obviously lower attack as well, and she should have similar masteries, if not the exact same masteries as the other Coldheart. Next, we're going to go into Mordecai, who will be the next champion to take a turn after the two Coldhearts take a turn. We have Mordecai fully decked out in perception and accuracy gear. His gear could be, it's not even leveled up all the way. It could honestly be better, but for the purposes of Spider, I only use him in Spider at this time. He has 246 speed, so this is the same as the slower Coldheart, which means we have to put the slower Coldheart ahead of him when we put the comp together. That way the Coldheart actually goes before Mordecai goes. Otherwise, if Mordecai is in front of the Coldheart, Mordecai will go first, and we don't want that to happen. We want both of the Coldhearts to go first. If the Coldhearts don't go first, we won't get the most bang for our buck out of the HP burn. You want the big spider to put down as many little spiders as possible before you get that HP burn up, or you'll be missing out on damage that you could be getting. So he's at 246 speed with 367 accuracy, and you don't necessarily need this much accuracy. I know this might be a lot of accuracy for some people, but my Great Hall, I'll show you guys my Great Hall in a minute. I have just about maxed accuracy in almost all of the factions. I think I still have 2 that I need to max, but they're still leveled up for the most part. Yeah, as you can see here, this one's at 60, so we still have 2 levels to go for force. After Mordecai, we're going to want that freeze, the thing that everybody needs. If you just pull the new champion from the 10X this weekend, then you got good freeze. Stun is also an option if you don't have freeze, so you can also stun the spiderlings, and that will also help you. But Crypt King Grawl, these are his stats here. 245 speed, 405 accuracy, and the other stats don't matter as much. One thing you do need to adhere to, though, is to not put any damage on any of your other champions other than the Coldhearts. And you're also going to want to turn off the Coldheart's A2 ability, which attacks all enemies, because it will do damage on this little spiderlings, and we don't want to do any damage. He doesn't have any masteries on him. You don't need masteries for this to work. It could help, but you don't need the masteries. Masteries could get you some more accuracy, but we don't need masteries on him for this to work. He also doesn't have any books in him. He doesn't need books for the freeze, so we're not going to put any books in him. Sorry, I didn't show the Mordecai masteries. These are the masteries that I have on Mordecai at the moment. We took Lore of Steel just to get a boost from the artifacts, and definitely down into Eagle Eye for the extra accuracy. I probably took this before I put the gear on him that I have on him now. So when I was first building this comp and I desperately needed more accuracy, I took this so that if the big spider does take a turn, which it won't happen in this comp, but when I was running it before I got this comp to where it is now, if the big spider does end up taking a turn, or if he gets targeted by little spiderlings, he could potentially counterattack. And on his A1, he does have decreased turn meter, which helps. Also has some turn meter control on his A2, which also helps this comp. So, oh, and he is booked. He's definitely booked. You want to make sure that you book him so that you can get this up to 100% chance to land the HP burn. Now, we can get 3%ed by RNG, which sucks in this game, but he still has a very high percentage chance of being very consistent with his HP burn. Another option that you can use is Ignatius, because his HP burn debuff cannot be resisted. As long as it's booked up to 100%, then it cannot be resisted. But you will need to build him very weak. Otherwise, he will kill the spiderlings. We all know Ignatius is a great damage dealer. Some people use him to farm Nightmare Campaign. So if you are building him for Spider 25, you're going to want to make sure to not put any damage on him. We'll take a look at the runs. I'll show my Great Hall real quick just to show you guys that I do have accuracy maxed in Magic and Void. Not quite yet in Force and Spirit, but we are getting there. I chose to max resist first in all four for all four affinities. That is just what I wanted to do on my account to make it easier for me to build champions. But let's take a look at the runs. And my fastest time, my personal best, currently 24 seconds. I have not been able to beat that with this comp. And I was thinking about some things that I could try to beat it, but it's a long shot. I thought about having Crypt King take 2 turns before the Spiderlings go, but that would require me to build everybody else significantly faster, and I don't have the gear at this time to do it. But we'll do a quick 10 runs and see how many times out of 10 that this comp gives us a victory. It averages right now around like 29 seconds or so, somewhere in between 29 and 32, maybe 34 seconds. So we got the Cold Hearts going first. Cold Hearts have to go first so that the Spiderling, all of the Spiderlings will land. Then we get the HP burn and the freeze. You just saw the reset from Renegade and 2 more Heart Seekers. At this point, the Cold Hearts can die. So that was a slower run. As you can see, the boss's turn meter did shoot up a bit, and he was very close to taking a turn, but he usually doesn't. So that's 1 victory. Here we go again. Cold Hearts coming in first with the Heart Seeker. HP burn on everyone. Freeze on everyone. One thing I didn't mention with the masteries was that we do want the mastery so that they're decreasing turn meter when they hit an enemy with the A1, so that we get that extra turn meter on the boss so that he doesn't cut in. So that's a 33-second run there. I feel like all of these are going to be slower because I'm recording, but it usually averages 29 seconds. So 2 Heart Seekers, HP burn, freeze, decreasing the turn meter with the A1. Mordecai coming in with some turn meter as well. 2 more Heart Seekers. We're not getting the most out of the Heart Seekers because these Cold Hearts don't have a whole lot of crit damage, but they have enough to make this work. Decent banner, even though it's 5 stars. I might roll it to 8th and sell it. So this is what, the 4th run, 3rd or 4th run. We haven't gotten 3% yet on HP burns, which is great. That's a sell. I think this is run 5. So running pretty smoothly right now. We still haven't gotten 3% yet, which is awesome. Boom. All right, easy 30 seconds. 5-star ring, that's a sell. Run 6. We got 4 more. So far, so good. No L's yet. No L's yet. Again, pretty big hits on this run from the Cold Hearts, which is great because the more crit damage you can get on them, the better. You want them to cap out their Heart Seeker if you can. We know that enemy max HP skills have been nerfed on the higher levels in the dungeons, so you do want to make sure that you're getting as much crit damage as possible so that you can cap out the damage. As you can see there, 773. This Cold Heart only hit for about 6,000 some change, 600,000 some change. So definitely need more crit damage on both of these Cold Hearts. 773 there again from both Cold Hearts. That's awesome. Two more runs, and you guys can't run this at much slower speeds. It'll just take a bit longer. So before, I had the Cold Hearts probably around 212, in between 212 and 220, and this comp worked just fine the same. So if you don't have the gear to necessarily make them as fast as I have them in this comp, you will be fine. You can slow everyone down a bit and still get it done. All right, let's run one more run. We haven't seen a loss yet. We got 3% there, which is fine, which is why we have the shield. And you'll see here, even if we do get 3%, we will be fine. Crypt King has a HP burn on his A2, which will come on after he A3s with his opener. And I'll show the setup after this. So as you can see, even with the 3%, it takes a little extra time. So this run was a 36-second run. Still not bad though. If we look at the setup here, I'll show you guys the setup. As soon as this moves, it's rather annoying actually. So Crypt King, you want him to open with his freeze. You want the Cold Hearts to open with their Heart Seeker, and you want to make sure you turn off the A2 because the A2 is going to do damage to the little spiderlings, and we don't want them to do any damage to the little spiderlings if we can help it. The A1 potentially can hit some spiderlings, but it'll be fine. Mordecai doesn't need any setup. He's going to always place the HP burn first and then go into his A2. If you feel like you need to, you can put that as his opener. And Renegade also is going to go with her sacrificial ritual first, so we don't really need setup there. I'm going to keep this off on mines. But yeah, that is how the comp works, guys. That is the setup. And you want to make sure that if you have champions that are the exact same speed, you want to make sure that you are putting them in the order that they need to take a turn in. Otherwise, it's not going to work in your favor. Also, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to want Evil Eye, the Evil Eye Mastery, so that your Cold Hearts are helping to decrease turn meter when they hit with their A1, which are going to help. That's going to help you out a lot, so that the boss doesn't take a turn. His turn meter doesn't shoot up. You're definitely going to want Evil Eye. But that is the comp, guys. I hope this video helps you out. If you all have any other things you would like to see, please be sure to comment on my videos. Some things that you might need assistance with, I don't mind uploading a video to help out. But until next time, guys, have a good one and be well. Peace.